Hello and welcome to English Every Day, the podcast. My name is Mary.
And I'm Luke. It's great to have you with us.
It certainly is. Today, we're diving into a topic that so many of our listeners have asked about: English conversation at the office, specifically for beginners.
That's right. Starting a new job is challenging enough, but doing it in a new language can feel really intimidating. The office has its own culture, its own rhythm, and its own special kind of language.
Exactly. But the good news is, it's a skill you can learn just like any other, and we're here to break it down for you, from the first hello in the morning to navigating meetings and even tricky conversations.
We want to give you the practical phrases and confidence you need to not just survive, but thrive in an English-speaking workplace. So, where should we start, Mary?
I think we have to start at the very beginning, the daily greetings and that all-important small talk.
Absolutely. It's the foundation of all office relationships. Let's talk about greetings first. It seems simple, but there's nuance. You'll hear good morning, good afternoon, and those are always safe, professional choices.
Totally safe. But you'll also hear more casual greetings like just morning or hey, how's it going?
Right. And the key is to listen and observe. How do your colleagues greet each other? How do they greet your boss? That gives you a clue about the office culture.
Right, the culture.
If your boss is more formal, sticking with "Good morning, Sarah" is a great idea. If your team is very casual, "Hey, Tom" is probably fine.
That's a great point. It's about matching the energy. And once you've said hello, you often move into a little bit of small talk. This is something that can be really scary for learners because it's not about a specific work task.
It really can be. But small talk is just about making a connection. The easiest and most common topic is the weekend. On a Monday, you will almost always hear, "How was your weekend?"
Yes, and a key tip here is to give a slightly detailed answer. Instead of just saying good, try something like, "It was great, thanks. I went for a hike and saw a movie. How about you?"
Exactly. That last part, "How about you?" is the magic phrase. It shows you're interested in the other person and keeps the conversation going.
It really does. Other safe topics for small talk include the weather, which might sound boring, but it's a universal connector.
Right?
Or you could ask about upcoming holidays or even a popular TV show. Something like, "Any fun plans for the long weekend?" Or "Did you catch the latest episode of that show everyone's talking about?" The goal is to keep it light and positive.
And to avoid controversial topics like politics or personal finances, stick to the safe, common ground. This small investment in conversation builds rapport and makes your workday much more pleasant.
For sure. It makes asking for help later on so much easier if you've already built that friendly connection. Speaking of which, let's move into our next section, essential office phrases. This is where we get into the nuts and bolts of daily work communication.
Let's do it. So, first up, asking for help or clarification. It's so important to remember that asking questions is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows you want to do the job correctly. So, some polite phrases you can use are, "Excuse me, do you have a moment?" followed by your question, or "Could you please help me with this?"
Okay.
If you're in a meeting and you don't understand something, you can say, "I'm sorry, I don't quite follow. Could you explain that in a different way?"
Those are perfect. The word could is your best friend here. It's softer and more polite than can. Another great one is, "Could you clarify what you mean by a specific term?" It shows you are listening but just need a little more detail.
That's a great one. And on the flip side, there's offering help. If you see a colleague struggling, it's a great way to be a team player.
Definitely. Simple phrases work best. "Do you need a hand with that?" Or "Is there anything I can do to help?" are both fantastic. Or even something more passive, like, "Let me know if you need any help." It opens the door for them to ask you later without putting them on the spot.
Exactly. Now, what about the big one, meetings? For a lot of learners, meetings are the most stressful part of the job.
Oh, absolutely. You have multiple people talking, fast-paced conversation. It's a lot, but you can participate even with just a few key phrases. A great way to share your idea is to start with, "In my opinion," or "From my perspective."
Right, those are good openers.
They signal that you're about to share your thoughts. If you want to build on someone else's idea, you can say, I'd like to add to what Sarah said. This shows you're a good listener and a collaborator.
And what about agreeing or disagreeing? Disagreeing can feel very confrontational.
It can, but it doesn't have to be. For agreeing, it's easy. I agree with Luke, or that's a great point. For disagreeing, the key is to be polite and constructive. You can use phrases like, I see your point, but have we considered, or I have a slightly different take on this. It's about respecting their idea while introducing your own. Never just say, you're wrong.
That is a golden rule right there. It's about the idea, not the person. Another useful phrase is, could we circle back to that later if you need more time to think about something?
Yes, or asking, what are the next steps at the end of a discussion? It shows you're focused on action and moving forward.
That's a great point about being action-oriented. And often, taking action requires us to make requests of our colleagues. This is another key area of daily communication. You constantly need something from someone else, a file, some information, or a review of your work.
It really is. And how you make those requests can make all the difference. You want to be clear and direct, but also polite and respectful of your colleagues' time. It's a delicate balance.
So, what are some good phrases to use? Let's say I need a file from you.
A great way to phrase that would be something like, Hi Luke, hope you're having a good morning. When you get a chance, could you please send me the latest version of the sales report? I need it for the presentation on Friday. Thanks a lot.
That's a perfect example. Let's break down why it works so well. First, you started with a pleasant opening. Second, you used the polite phrase, could you please? Third, you provided context, why you need the file. And finally, you gave a clear, non-urgent deadline. That's the formula for a perfect request.
Exactly. That formula is respectful of their time while still being clear about what you need. Other great, slightly more general phrases are, would you mind helping me with this? Or, I was wondering if you could spare a few minutes to look at this for me. They are soft and polite ways to initiate a request. Right, the unwritten rules.
Exactly. Let's start with a simple but powerful one, apologizing. Everyone makes mistakes. It's how you handle them that matters.
So true. A sincere, simple apology goes a long way. Phrases like, my apologies for the error, I'll fix it right away, or I'm sorry for the delay on this report.
The important part is to take responsibility and, if possible, offer a solution. Don't make excuses. Just a clear, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, is very professional.
Definitely. Okay, what about another tricky one? Giving and receiving feedback. This can be nerve-wracking for anyone.
For sure. When receiving feedback, the most important thing is to just listen. Try not to get defensive. You can say, thank you for the feedback. I appreciate you pointing that out.
That shows maturity.
And when you have to give feedback, especially constructive criticism, a common and helpful technique is the feedback sandwich.
Yes, the classic sandwich.
You start with something positive, then you give the area for improvement, and you end with another positive comment. For example, Mary, you did a fantastic job engaging the client in that presentation.
Okay.
One thing to consider for next time is maybe adding a summary slide at the end. But overall, your delivery was confident and really impressive.
That feels so much better than just saying you forgot a summary slide. It's balanced and respectful.
Right. It shows you see their strengths, not just the mistake. Now, another part of office culture is understanding when to email versus when to talk in person.
That's a big one. My general rule is if it's a simple, factual question that doesn't need an immediate answer, email's great. It also creates a written record.
I agree. But if the topic is sensitive, complex, or could easily be misunderstood in writing, a face-to-face conversation or a quick call is much better. Tone of voice is so important.
It really is. And if you do email, please use a clear subject line. Something like question about the Q3 marketing report is so much better than hey or a blank subject.
Yes, 1,000 times yes. Finally, let's touch on idioms and office jargon. English is full of them, and the workplace has its own special vocabulary.
Right, you'll hear things like let's touch base, which just means let's talk or connect, or on the same page, which means we agree or understand each other.
Or circle back, which we mentioned earlier, meaning to return to a topic later. My advice to learners is this: don't panic and don't pretend you understand if you don't.
Exactly. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today, Luke, from simple greetings to handling feedback. We really have. So, if we were to boil it all down, what are the key takeaways for our listeners?
I think the biggest one is to start simple and be patient with yourself. You don't need to be the most talkative person in the office day one. Focus on mastering polite greetings and asking clarifying questions.
That's great advice. I'd add listen more than you speak, especially at the beginning. Pay attention to the office culture, how people interact. That will be your best guide.
And remember that politeness is a universal language. Using please, thank you, and could you will always serve you well. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone does.
Exactly. The goal is clear communication, not perfect grammar. Practice these phrases, build your confidence step by step, and you'll be navigating office conversations with ease in no time.
Well said. And that brings us to the end of our episode. We hope you found these tips helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in to English Every Day, the podcast. Thanks, everyone. Keep practicing. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.